For centuries, the whole idea of time travel has been pure science fiction, right? Something you see in movies or read in books. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the line between what's real and what's fiction is a lot blurrier than we think? We're about to dive into one of the weirdest and most fascinating mysteries out there. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. No fancy machine, no big experiment, just a totally normal person who's here one minute and then somewhere else the next. It sounds impossible, but this is the terrifying, incredible reality some people swear they have lived through.
And look, this isn't just one or two isolated stories that you could just brush off. We're talking about a global phenomenon. Hundreds of reports have come in from all different cultures, all walks of life, and they all describe the same baffling event, a short, unwanted trip to the future.
So what do we even call this? Well, the term for it is a time slip. And it's not a journey you choose to go on. It's more like reality just tears open for a second. You get pulled into another time, and then just as suddenly you're thrown right back.
What's so wild is how consistent the stories are. It's almost like they're all reading from the same script. It nearly always follows these three steps. First, there's an instant shift. Then, they're there for just a little while, usually only a few minutes. And third, a sudden, jarring return to their own time. It's this really specific, recurring pattern.
And this is the part that's absolutely crucial. It's completely spontaneous. There's no button, there's no warning. One moment you're walking down the street, living your life, and the next, the world you know is just gone. And that total lack of control, that's what makes this whole thing so terrifying. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we have to go beyond just the definition. Let's look at a specific, real-life case that shows just how bizarre these things can get. So picture this. There's a guy walking down a street he's known his whole life. It's a perfectly normal day. And then suddenly, he just stops. He looks around, and the buildings, they're not right. They're taller, they're made of weird materials he's never seen. The whole style is different. The very ground beneath his feet feels wrong. Then he looks at the traffic. The cars are sleek, almost alien-looking. And here's the really creepy part. They move in total silence. No engine noise, just a low hum. Even the people are dressed in strange clothes. Everything is different. He's like a ghost in a world that isn't supposed to exist yet. He just stood there, completely stunned, for what he said felt like about 10 minutes. And then, in the blink of an eye, it was over. The weird buildings were gone, replaced by the ones he knew. The normal sound of traffic and city life rushed back in. Everything just snapped back to the way it was. Now I know what you're thinking. The logical explanation is he was on something, right? Or maybe having some kind of medical episode. Well, this is where the story gets even stranger. He was checked out by doctors, top to bottom. They found he was completely sober, perfectly healthy, both physically and mentally. There was absolutely no medical reason for what he saw. And this case isn't some outlier. It's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle that has scientists pretty much stumped, turning this whole thing into a true global mystery. You see, while science might want to jump to easy explanations like hallucinations or stress, time slips just refuse to fit in those boxes. The witnesses are almost always found to be mentally and physically healthy. And here's a real mind-bender. Some of these events have multiple witnesses who all saw the exact same thing. In some reports, the places they describe can even be physically verified later. All of this makes it really, really hard to just dismiss. And this isn't a phenomenon that's just happening in one part of the world. No way. We're talking reports coming in from Japan, the US, the UK, India, Russia, all over the place. Different people, different cultures, different languages. But the core story they tell is hauntingly the same. So, with all this compelling evidence piling up, the scientific community can't just ignore it. They've had to at least try to come up with some theories for what could possibly be going on here. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If this isn't just people's imagination running wild, then what is it? What could possibly explain someone accidentally taking a quick step into the future? Let's take a look at the leading ideas. Okay, so there are basically three main theories on the table. First up, you've got the parallel universe theory. This idea suggests a person accidentally slips into another timeline that's moving a little faster than ours. The problem with that? It doesn't really explain why it's always so brief or how they manage to come back. Second, there's the space-time glitch theory. This one imagines that time isn't perfectly stable, that it has cracks people can fall through. I mean, it sounds cool, but it's totally theoretical with zero evidence. And third, you have the brain misfire theory, which says it's just a super realistic vision. But that one completely falls apart the second you have a case with more than one witness. So yeah, none of them really work.
But beyond the scientific puzzle, there's a really personal and often pretty dark side to all this. I mean, what happens to a person after they've seen a future they were never supposed to see?
For a lot of them, the experience isn't some cool adventure story, it's a trauma. They often stop talking about it completely because they're afraid people will think they're crazy. Some become really fearful. They withdraw from the world because they just can't reconnect with their normal, everyday life. It's like that glimpse of another time just severs their connection to the present.
This is a direct quote from one of the witnesses. And when they said it, it wasn't with excitement or wonder. It was with this deep, chilling sense of dread. It makes you think that whatever they saw, it wasn't some beautiful utopia. It was something deeply unsettling.
And that's often how the story ends. After they share their experience and that really ominous warning, many of these witnesses just disappear from the public eye. They never speak of it again. And the silence they leave behind is almost as chilling as the story they told. So that leaves us with the ultimate question. What are we actually dealing with here? Was it a genuine, accidental trip through time? A quick, terrifying peek into another dimension? Or is it something happening inside the human brain that's so rare and so powerful that our current science just has no way of understanding it? For now, the mystery of the time slip remains completely and fascinatingly unsolved.